मेरी प्यारी सी Good evening, everyone, fellow Toastmasters and my dear friends. I am the Sergeant at Arms for today's meeting number 3 for today. I welcome all of you to this meeting, Agnes Toastmasters Club Varsha. So I just met a friend on the way. Different things now we understand that speeches, giving speeches are important, we learn a lot. But why do you make value? So I told her you should accept the criticism and speeches together because it helps you grow, just like the rain and sun. I will tell you all to please stand for the club's mission. The club's mission: to provide a supportive and positive learning experience in which members are empowered to develop communication and leadership skills, resulting in greater self-confidence and personal. Please be seated. Some guided instructions for the meeting today. Please put your phone on silent. I'll give you 30 seconds for it. Please do not disturb the speaker by talking in a speech is in progress. Do not move in and out of the meeting room while a speech is in progress. If you want to move out, please do so when a speech is over or you hear a clap. If you are outside, then enter the room only when you hear an applause. Drinking water and washrooms are outside, male and female. Thank you. I now invite the president of the club to officially open the meeting.
Just a correction, I'm not the president of the club. I'm just the presiding officer for this particular meeting. I can see a couple of guests here. Can I just have you tell us your name? How did you hear about Agnes and what makes you come to a Toastmasters meeting?
Sure. So I'm Sandal, and I got to know about Toastmasters.
If you could just stand up so that we can see.
Sorry. Hi, hello everyone. I'm Sandal, and I got to know about Toastmasters because I have been one for 3 years. And I was looking for something nearby. I live in Vashi. Got to know about the Angels of the Sundays, and here I am.
Which club have you been part of?
I was part of Small VIP Toastmasters. It's in Balloon. Then I was a part of NCL Pinnacle. It's in Chennai.
Most welcome.
Thank you very much.
Hello everyone, my name is Swapnil. I'm living in Navi. I've heard Toastmaster from an ex-colleague of mine. I'm in communication. And recently, I've been company leadership since past 7 years, but I feel that my communication skills, my presentation skills are not at par with the other leaders. So I thought I'll check it out, and if I find it useful, I would be happy to become a member.
Thank you so much. Most welcome. Different protocol that I forgot to do. I have an increase in 42 cases. Today morning, I happened to be talking to Toastmaster Meenakshi, who generally discussing about the affairs of the club. I specifically told her I'm going to speak about her, and I told her, don't react. This is what she does. She happened to mention mentioning her brother to me. And I realized that for the last 2 years I've been working with her, and I had no clue that she actually had a younger brother. She in fact told me that she had mentioned her younger brother in a couple of her speeches as well. Shows how much attention I'm paying to the speeches. What I'm coming at is, what I'm realizing is we all come here, we know what a timer does, we know what an hour counter does, what an evaluator does. How much do we know each other? How many questions have we asked the person sitting next to us? What do we know about the person other than the name? Maybe a little professional background, that's it, that's all we know about each other. We are a community, and the way to grow is to know each other, be supportive of each other, and try and get to know a person a little bit more. I'm not saying become best buds, just to know what the other person is about. So I have a small exercise that I want you guys to do. Turn to the person sitting next to you, speak for 2 minutes, and 2, 3 of you can volunteer and tell me what you learned about that person. Ron and I was hoping it was silent. Done. I don't know. So any volunteer? Any volunteer? Yeah, Meenakshi.
No, not to volunteer, I just like. It's look like a speed dating.
Why you speak it?
Yeah. But he should have given a choice, and we should have got a choice.
Please keep going.
Yes, Praveen has an elder brother and an elder sister. That's about it. Wow.
You know, Praveen's elder brother can sing really well. He's an excellent singer.
She's a magician for standing there.
I could hear. Yeah.
He's monobit, he's civil engineer, he stays at Vashi, he likes running. Anything else? That's
See, this is how you. Yes, Manu.
Yeah, she is Vidya Guru, and she is a member of this club since 2018. She is a professional. She loves dancing, and as a professional, she is a teacher.
yes, very good. Only one thing wrong.
Would you like to order?
So, Toastmaster Ramesh, his son's name is his name. Harrier. He loves to play cricket. Now he is developing his son to play cricket. So he always mentions that how he observes his son now, nurturing and growing up in that arena. He has got to know about his son.
Thank you. We'd like to meet that idea someday. Anybody else from this side?
Yeah, we just met. He's Padmapani, and he told me he's an architect. He also has an office here.
Thank you so much. So this is what I want you to do. Every time when you come for a meeting, try and sit near a person who have not sat with before. Try and find out a little bit more about that person. Connect a little bit. That's all. Today we have a very dynamic Toastmaster of the day, Toastmaster Kalyan Kumar. He has been part of this club for some time, and we have heard him with his speeches. This is the first time he's attempting to be the Toastmaster of the day, and he promised me a very humorous session this meeting. Toastmaster.
To conduct this session, can you give me 2 chocolates?
No, 4 chocolates.
आंटी बुलाया
अभी तो बाहर चलेगा बाहर.
Oh, bad. Thank you. Good evening, everyone. Today we are all going to talk about us, what we have cherished, what we have lived, and we tend to forget quite a lot.
because the layers and layers and layers memories which started. Today we think we are super adults. We do Toastmasters, ATM and everything. But the basic we started with was at all. We babble. Our first language is babbling. If you ask your parents, they cherish the memory of, you might be a DTM, but the babbling, that's what they remember. Your parents, your uncle, your aunts, your neighbors, who live with you. How many of you still cherish your memory of your childhood? You can raise your hands at least once in a day, once in a week. Good, very, very few people. Why am I talking about this people this title of childhood years? That's a basic. Today, child, when you think about the child psychology, it never think about the past. It never think about the future. It always think about the present. What all the Gandhi says, leave the present. That's what we fail to do as a mature adult every day. Whenever I go to my workshop, there is an uncle, he brought me up. We knew that in makeup during my very years, 2 years university. Till then, whenever I visit him, the first snack he picks up is a snack called Bonda. Bonda. It is as good as Vada. It's called as Bonda. It's made out of aloo and that. Because he always tells, Kalyan, you love this very much in your young years. Whenever you visited me, I always treated you with this. And we went together to multiple hotels, but you always prefer the choice of whatever may be the item, the first one you want. Now he is 65, 70, close to, still, any visited, I still feel myself as a small child in front of me. He treats me well. What happens to me during that period? When I don't feel myself so mature or anything. Complete submission. I'm there with them without any worries. I don't feel that I'm married, I'm engaged or anything. He treats me like a kid. Then I have to freedom of his home. So that's how I love to enjoy, cherish the memories of my childhood. Today, in our session, we are all going to talk about the child within me. When I finalize this title and then return the good amount of script, then as usual I went to Google. In this talk, there is a book which is called as Child Interview written by famous author and all this thing. But I tend to not read about the book because I want to experience this title along with you because it is more personalized than anything else. What we have done a quick exercise is also today with some of the graduate speakers. I have shared some questions about their memory so that they can come prepared and talk about it or perform it. So that's going to be the fun here. There are few people who missed answering the question. So for them it's kind of it's going to be a little bit of time. But I believe it. And today, for people who come as a guest, I welcome them and then I want to explain the structure of the meeting, the way we are going. It has its three essential pillars. The prepared speeches, the most important part of it. People who have taken the different pathways will come and listen. And then the evaluation of the speech, which is very critical about giving the feedback, the feedback was put how that was the speech. And then the third part, which is favorite topic master, which is getting on your feet. That is going to be the standard session of each and every Toastmaster meeting. But today, there is a little deviation. Better than that, we are going to have an education session about club leadership from our Toastmasters. With this, There are certain set of people who are always assist us in conducting any successful any meeting which is going to be successful. For this format of the meeting, we have timer, counter, and branded. These three people are going to help us conduct this meeting in much better way. I would like to call upon the timer of today, Vidya. Who is going to explain about the rule and about the timer so that we all will be able to. And before we start, the Chinese question for you. What is the favorite dance movement which you have in your childhood? Would you like to perform?
Please stand here, both of you.
Yes.
I'm more childlike now, so that's why my steps are like this now. But there's one step that I learned and I'm very emotional about it when I was a child. Please do it with me. Marodo.
I don't really dance, but I will try.
Yes, it is like nice. Okay, thank you, that's it. Time is the essence of life. And in Toastmasters, we learn to value time. That's why I'm never too late for a meeting. I'm always almost on time. Good evening, fellow Toastmasters and dear guests. I'm Vidya Kuru and I'm the timer for today's meeting. Today, as a timer, it's my duty to time the prepared speeches and evaluations. For prepared speeches, the time allocated varies as per the project and shall be indicated by the evaluators. For example, the time allocated for an icebreaker speech is 4 to 6 minutes. I shall display the green card at the minimum qualifying time, yellow card at the midpoint of the qualifying time range, and red cards at the maximum qualifying time. For evaluation, the time allocated is 2 to 3 minutes. I'll display green card at 2 minutes. At 2 minutes 30 seconds, I'll display the yellow card. And at 3 minutes, I'll display the red card till the end of the speech for prepared speeches as well as evaluation. For prepared speech and evaluation, the speaker has 30 seconds grace before the minimum qualifying time and after the maximum qualifying time. All the speakers who speak beyond the grace period shall not be qualified for vote. I shall share my time report as and when called upon. Thank you and over to you, Toastmaster.
One thing I should admit, till the time I joined Toastmaster, I don't even know in a speech there is something called art. There are, it's called as filler words also, there is something which you people know. First meeting when I attended here, it was an online meeting, that when people said it's going to be a R counter, I was wondering, how come it's going to be an R counter? What is the role? Then we raised each and every meeting, how many are and the filler words which we are using it, knowingly or unknowingly. Today, I would like to invite our R counter of the day, Manojit Das. What I learned from him is, he's a very good marathon runner. He keeps on running, motivating a lot of people. Please come over here and let us discuss. What about the marathon? I would like to ask you, since you are doing a marathon, so I have put this kind of question because I feel these people are very health conscious. So, what is your childhood favorite snack?
Yeah, during my childhood, I used to love wafers mostly. And but in recent times, since it's not very healthy, so I have given up. But still, I like having some wafers during my after that. Like because it was
Experiment with because
Good evening, Toastmasters of the day, fellow Toastmasters, and guests. The purpose of the R counter is to find words, and filler words which are used as a crutch or pause filler used by anyone who speaks. During the meeting, I will note the overused words such as well, but, so, and you know. I'll also listen to filler sounds such as I'll also note when speaker repeats words and phrases such as I, or this means this, this means. At the end of the meeting, I'll report the number of times each speaker uses this expression. I hope I made it clear to everyone regarding the rules of this our counter, and I wish all the speakers best of luck for today's meeting. Thank you.
The next is, we had a civil engineer. I'll have to call upon an architect. Vishal. He is going to be our English teacher for the day. He's going to play the grammarian role. Mr. Padmaparan. A question to you. In your childhood days, what's your favorite TV series?
There were many favorite TV series, but one of the favorite TV series was Vikram or Beta.
Fantastic, I love that.
I like especially that last series.
Oh.
Is there a performance?
Thank you, Kalyan. Good evening, fellow Toastmasters and guests. Today, I am grammarian for the meeting. As a grammarian, it is my responsibility to pay close attention for speakers, listening carefully to their languages and grammar. I will take note of improper language and grammar, as well as any outstanding words, quotes, saying or thoughts. As a grammarian, it is also my duty to introduce the word of the day and phrase of the day. Today's word of the day is nostalgic. Nostalgic means sad feeling, pleasure when we think about happy times in the past. An example is, we made nostalgic visit to the ground where we played cricket. Phrase of the day is, walk out trip from the memory lane. Means when you spend some time remembering the past. Use it. Let us go to school and take a trip down memory lane. Each speaker is encouraged to use word of the day and phrase of the day. Whenever somebody uses, please encourage him by giving some substance. I will give the grammarian report when called upon during the meeting, and also report on the usage of the word of the day and phrase of the day. Thank you.
Today, normally we start with the prepared speeches. We have a special education session today about club leadership. The reason is, you might have seen in the WhatsApp pages, leadership questions are open, the elections are going to be due. So we have Sanish Babu, who is going to talk about what is club leadership, what is the role, what are the things he as a member thinks. We have a question to now. Yes. Who is your childhood favorite hero? Which you imitate? Yes. And I want you to talk.
Yes.
Yeah. I was more nervous after a long time to come on stage because of this part. I don't know how many of you are going to get it. I was feeling the jitters just thinking coming. I want to do it just once.
Finally, Sanish is here.
Kamehameha.
Sanish. Sanish.
What is the mystery of
So it's a character which Ankit correctly identified. It's called Goku from Dragon Ball Z. I don't know how many anime fans are over here. Not many.
Only you will
तेरे
answer.
बचपन में एनिमे था तभी तो कार्टून होता था What's the mystery of that?
This time they were cartoon, now it's it got launched in 1980s. So we'll be having a 30-minute educational session on the various leadership in XCOM. It will be divided 10 minutes on general leadership, 15 minutes specifically into the club XCOM, and last 5 minutes for Q&A. Now it's going to be an interactive session. It's not going to be a monologue where I'm just going to stand over here and deliver. So I will be requiring participation of everybody over here. So let me ask you guys, saw the flyer. So how many of you have expectations like what is going to the XCOM? Or coming to the session, what do you guys expect in terms of today's session? 30 minutes, how can this session add value for you guys to take a decision, whether you want to be a part of XCOM, yes or no? Quickly guys. Yeah, Rohit.
More clarity, what exactly this role determining what exactly that person does once they get that data.
Thanks, Rohidas, for bringing that. One of the questions is, what does each role entail? What do I need to do about that? I'll be sharing my own, how I have been a member for the last 5 years, how I was looking at the various XCOM role. Initially, first, if I say I was disinterested in leadership. Anybody over here? You can be genuine. What happens in India? Yeah, that doesn't mean. First, I didn't realize. I used to, the meeting was to happen at 5 o'clock. I used to come in by the seats where everything was laid out. I used to just sit. As soon as the meeting finished, I went out. So it's very, I would say, honest and genuine response. Disinterested in leadership. Why take leadership? So yeah, can I see the answer again? Yes. Now the second thing is a bit interested in leadership, but I know the cost that needs to be paid, the sacrifice needs to be done. So I want to prioritize maybe personal and professional commitments, and right now maybe not take up time for leadership. Anybody like that? Vaisha, Ruchi, Amrita, Rohidas, thanks for sharing that. And finally, what Rohidas asked the question, like, I want to be part of the leadership. I see many people very enthusiastic and the meetings are happening on the time. I would like to be part of that. How can I get more clarity on what are the different roles that entail? So these are the 3 things which we will look at. And hopefully by the end of the session, I hope that many of the people are over here and apply for that. You cannot pull or push me. But the beautiful thing about the leadership in Toastmasters is how we say about democracy. Of the members, by the members, and for the members. So the XCOM is a committee of 8 people who are being selected, and somewhere throughout the next 1 year we support them in terms of whatever the actions they entail. So somewhere down the line, it's a great experience. Now raise your hands, how many of you over here are looking for a platform for developing confidence? Alright. What are the other people who are not raising their hands? I will pick them up. So if we look at the club mission as well, so it's about supporting the members for personal development and growth through communication and leadership. This is leadership. If you look at the term of the leadership, it will start from July and it will end on June. So on 30th June, it's going to end. So right now we are going to have an election in some time. The XCOM will announce when the elections are going to come. Now let's come back to the first thing. In terms of anybody, what was the first thing?
Those not interested in leadership.
Yes, thanks. So one attendee student. So say A for her. So why take up leadership? I'll ask both the people who are not interested as well as who are interested. And I request the timer to let me know once 10 minutes are over. So why should one go for leadership or why one should not go for leadership? Anything you can say. Come on.
The question just now you asked everyone.
Yeah.
Who wants to increase their confidence?
Hmm.
A lot of people raise their hands. So I believe that leadership skill and that confidence both are two sides of the coin. I mean, they need to go hand in hand. So I believe they are correlated with each other, and that's why probably this position would be essential for one to do themselves.
Thank you, Rohidas, for bringing that. Leadership and confidence goes hand in hand. The more a person takes up leadership opportunity, the more we get the opportunity to connect with other people. Going back to what the presiding officer Libby said, how much you know about each other. XCOM is a team of 8 people. Compared to other members in the club, the XCOM have more opportunity to interact with each other. They will know more about other people. It also gives you an opportunity to work with different variety of people having different background, different experiences. When we go into the corporate, we may not have always that opportunity to work with people who are in the same wavelength as us. This gives us a platform to learn that skill set. What else? I'm looking for more. Yeah.
Also, so currently I work as a business development associate, and one thing I've noticed is that at times you need to work with people who come from a different culture, and you kind of need to adapt to what you were saying, different way of living, right? Here at Toastmasters, it's a very supportive environment where you get to work, you take up the leadership, and you learn how to work with people, how to get the job done, and that I believe is quite necessary. That's why one should take a leadership position.
Thank you. Thanks for bringing it. Please give me a round. What? Anything? Why it should not be taken here?
We can apply the things that we learn in terms of leadership at our organization and at our work.
Yes. Again, give a warm round of applause. Skill of leadership is a transferable skill set. Once we learn anywhere, we can go and apply the corporate setup as well. One of the things I remember a decade back, while I was sitting and having a review with my boss, was many of the peers got promotion and I did not get promotion. And I confronted him like why I did not get the promotion. And he told me, Sanish, you need to start acting like a senior before you can be promoted. I nodded my head. I understood that around 5-6 years later, once I took more leadership opportunities in Toastmasters, what it means to be a leader and how to hold yourself and conduct yourself as a leader. One of the things we always refrain from taking opportunities in life is because we think first we'll become adept at a skill set, then we will say yes to it. But having taken leadership, I have come to realize that we have to first say yes to things, start doing things, and then we learn. Whether it's about leadership, or maybe riding a bicycle, or maybe learning how to swim. We cannot read a book, listen to a podcast, or talk with people and learn the skill set. We have to put ourselves out there, maybe fall a bit, tumble a bit, get our knees scratched, and then finally learn that skills. Now, few points why one should not take leadership. Time coming, both president and VP like yes. Two of the I would say the most active EXCO members across the district 98. We were able to finish the DCP program in 100 days. The president had made the announcement that we will complete most of the points. Yes, we want to have some 66 days. Let me correct you. They set a goal and they ensured that they were able to persuade and influence the whole team. It's just not they decided, okay, we'll do that and they can anything and all the criteria. There is a program called DCP program in Toastmasters. So when it comes to communication, we have the leader. We can always say that it's a self-paced program. I'll give one speech in this year, maybe one speech in the next year. When it comes to leadership, we do not have that freedom. That is that whole club which is on our shoulders as a team. They are looking for us to ensure that the meeting happens every fortnight. Individually, the EXCOM may have certain professional challenges, maybe medical issues, or maybe family challenges, and they may not be able to come for that every time. But as a team, they ensure that things happen. The team keep on moving. So, like the president and the VP said, both Meenakshi and Libby, that time is a great factor. But at the same time, what I would say is one learn as well how to delegate. Like I see for BP, there are two, I would say, well people who have been doing, Praveen and Dharmesh, who help out, and as a team, we are able to do that. So you also learn that how to delegate things, but definitely time is a great challenge for now to take up leadership. Mahesh, as well,
I think you already covered that. I was going to talk about the responsibility and ownership that a leader needs to take.
yes. So that is why one should not take, or that is why one should take. All right. Let me touch on it, right? Generally, that is a cliche statement. Like if you want somebody to mature easily, get that person married. Right? I would say that is the easier way to do it. Give that person leadership role. That person will mature. That is a responsibility, right? It's a community. You are looking to attend to the services of the community. In terms of people have paid membership, they are coming over here. That is that stewardship of responsibility. The club leaders have that responsibility to the other members. They are looking, okay, I have paid my dues. How can I get value for my money? And it is the club leaders who look to that. This promise of Toastmasters is being discharged by ensuring that they do their duty. And it comes at a cost, like how Mahesh said, there are going to be personal accountability, personal ownership, and somewhere we learn how to balance both of that. And in today's corporate world, or anyway, even as an entrepreneur, the skill set to manage different things, juggle different, that's a very important skill. We can no longer say, okay, I'm going to do just one task. And leadership allows us to do that. So again, if that is, I would say, challenge ownership, do take up the challenge and go for the leadership. Now, let's move into the different, I would say, the XCOM roles. We'll go into the reverse hierarchy. First, we'll cover the sergeant accounts. Like I said, I'm engaging an interactive session. So, can anybody share what is the role, responsibility of the sergeant in a club? Like based on what you have seen, or maybe you have been a member of for a couple of years. So that is how we'll proceed for the next 15 minutes. I'll say each of the XCOM role, and I would ask you guys, what is your impression? It can be right, it can be wrong, which is okay. Every time we do not have to be wrong, but it shows to me also that you have been thinking. And one of the things as a leader, which I would say I have done and see people is express your voice, express your thoughts. It doesn't have to be, we don't have to think, okay, only if it is right, I'll say that. We'll figure out where we're going. So based on Sergeant Adams, what is the impression you guys have? Anybody? Yeah.
It's opened by Sergeant Adams, and he or she looks after the arrangements for the meeting. The camera is placed properly. She or he writes on the board. Everything is done. Like, yeah, that's what I do.
Thanks, Farita. Thanks for sharing that. Anybody else who like to? Even Sergeant Adams can also add.
So what I understood initially when I took up the role, I just thought that it's just a role like the tab, the mailing. But when Nidhi sent me a list of leads, but then again she asked me, so I don't have that would be a motivation for me to come for the meeting every day. So that is why I took up the role. So I found that slowly when I'm doing that, like writing everything on the board, coming here on time, before time, and making all the arrangements, not all of them, for Toastmaster role. So he's guiding me throughout the everything. So I'm finding it more better day by day, every meeting. So I'm very happy. So when I'm doing my meetings and workshops at my schools and colleges, it's giving, I'm not getting that nervousness to stand in the stage or to look at the face of. So I'm more relaxed. So it's okay, now I can do it. So that is what the transformation.
Thanks, Nita, for chatting. But don't scam your potential future leaders with the list which you receive.
It's not a very big list. For this for the person, I thought it's just like a tag timer. I'm just here for 10 minutes.
No, it's okay, Nisha. I think people will drop out. But jokes apart, one of the good points which Nisha brought up is taking up a leadership role gives us a reason to attend meeting regularly. I still remember before I took up the first role, BPPR, I would say I would go this evening, and in the evening around after having a sumptuous lunch, I would go to sleep. I haven't taken any role, so it's okay if I don't do it. But after taking a club leadership role, always that reason to go was there. So that's a good point which Nisha brought up, that once we take up the club leadership, there is always a reason, okay, I need to go for each and every meeting. Just a brief idea about Sergeant at Arms role is starting from this college venue which we have, that needs to be coordinated every time. So there is a mail which is dropped out to the college, and right now I'm just giving a brief, so that mail needs to be dropped out. That needs to be a coordination of the classroom is available or not. Sometimes we see the rooms being swapped. So the Sergeant at Arms is ideally who does that all the conversation, and the mail is officially dropped. Sometimes when Sergeant at Arms is not available, this year we had VP Libby chip in for most of the sergeant at work and do the coordination, sometimes coming all the way from the place of residence here convey to Vash, many of them. So that's how again I emphasize it's an XCOM role. As a team, they are working and ensuring that the goals are done. Other thing is the physical things, which you see a blank bag right over here. So the sergeant at arms is responsible for that. The certificates which are being provided to the members, and keep a count of them, whether we have enough certificates or not, and probably inform the rest of the team. And the whole stuff like the camera and everything is in place for that. So all those comes within the purview of sergeant at arms. And one more thing, I know over the last couple of years, since some of the members were very interested for sergeant, you get to set the tone of the meeting. As a sergeant at arms, you again get to work on your public speaking skill. You get the opportunity to introduce mostly the president, who will be the presiding officer, or different people again and again. So you can again learn the art of introducing that one person and again knowing about that one person more and more. So these are the couple of things over and above which was shared by Parita and Nisha, which a person who takes up the sergeant at arms role gets to learn. Now, at any point of time, if you have any query with regard to any role, please feel free to ask me, or at official we can have at the end of. But if you have doubt for any role, do feel free to raise your hand and ask it. Now we'll move on to the next role, the role of the treasurer. So, anybody, come on, what do you think is the role of the treasurer? Just think.
Keeping accounts.
Keeping accounts, thanks. So, please give. Anything else? Or in specificity, what does accounts entail for a club?
All bills are paid, like bills to SNAP, payroll certificates, and other things with that. Even for the meeting room, there will be cost involved. All those bills are paid.
Huge. In the accounts, one thing ensures that we don't doze off and everybody will have to listen to me. So, like Ruchi said, the payment is done for the venue, the payment is done for the snack. And again, I'll take back the snack in terms of what snack we have, and looking at the count, that again falls under the purview of sergeant at arms. So, while doing that, probably I might jump here and there a bit. So, again, the snacks is something, it's financed by the treasurer, but again, the number of people, how much to order, mainly the responsibility lies with the sergeant at arms. Anybody else, treasurer?
Treasurer is also responsible for paying the membership dues to Toastmasters International.
Yes.
Along with that, the other thing is, especially with respect to contest amount, the treasurer is plays a very vital part in terms of ensuring that the budget is properly done with the contest with respect to the other aspects.
Thanks, Anil. Anybody, anything else? All right. So, I'll quickly, like how Ankit brought in, budgeting is also a good thing. So, if you are someone who is looking to brush their finance or accounting little bit in an actual professional setup, again, treasurer is a great tool. Again, it's a role which requires a lot of faith by other club members as well, because it's handling the budget, the funds of the club. And in terms of budget also, you get to do that. Okay, there are going to be contests, there are going to be trophies, there are going to be snacks. So how much do we foresee? So it's a good role to work upon your business and financial equity. It's very easy. Sometimes in our corporate, or if you're a student, we may not get that kinds of hands-on exposure to do that. But over here, we can do that in terms of, let's say we want to give some kind of, we have the one of the best practices in terms of giving the member of the month, giving the book, something like that. That again, the treasurer accommodates for that in the budget and in terms of discussing with the expert. So, and again, the terms of
making the payment to the TI as well. Now sometimes it also happens like we have various district awards and there are certain deadlines for that. Even TI has deadlines for that. So since I am the VPM, sometimes I get the dues from the potential guests who become the members, but treasurer has to ensure that payment is done to the TI. Or else we will lose on that free, I would say, brownie points or achievements for the club. So therein also treasurer has to ensure that the payment is happening on the time. Even to the college from whom we are renting, we have to ensure that the payments happen on the time. Or else it reflects poorly. Tomorrow they might say, okay, the payments are not coming in. These are they are just coming and we are not getting. So again, it's a very critical role in terms of upholding the reputation of our. Now moving on to the next role, that is the role of the secretary. So anybody in terms of the role of the secretary? Come on, yeah.
The agenda that we see every time.
Yes.
That's being mailed to us, that has been done by the secretary of the class. That's what I think.
Next. Round of applause. Anybody else? Think. Even if you have not seen, you can extrapolate what you have taken.
And it's also when she's a part of the meeting, she's not writing the minutes, something like that. How was the meeting?
Yes.
And then the minutes are being sent. Is it something like that?
Yes, that's true. So the secretary mainly handles the agenda and the minutes of the meeting. So whether it's a normal meeting or an ExCom meeting, the secretary take notes of them. So if you look the definition, the secretary is basically in charge of the correspondence of the team, internally as well as externally as well. Both the secretary is in charge. Other thing is in terms of all the documentation and anything which is the club needs to handle the records, everything comes on the owners of the secretary. So if you are looking to be someone maybe work on your comprehension skills, like in terms of listen to the speech and content, this is a great role to do that. I know sometimes I struggle to write speeches, and this role, like I mentioned, if you want someone to grow, give a person that responsibility. So if you are looking to comprehend the speeches or how you look at it, so this is a great role to do that. And in terms of club is also year over year the ExCom changes. But there are many decisions which are taken by each ExCom. So in terms of if you want to go back and look at why are we doing things in a particular way, the minutes of the meeting are a very important place to check that okay, this is a decision done by the ExCom. Sometimes we might see over the years the leaders have changed. So just by going to the minutes, you have a repository to go and check back how did they think, what are the decisions they had taken, who are the people who voted or voted for or voted against. So minutes of the meeting is a very critical document if you look from this. Now moving on to the next role, that is the Vice President Public Relations. So come on quickly, time is of essence. Now we just have 10 minutes. Yeah.
Coordinating with new members, guests who are coming.
That will come under Vice President membership. That's a great point. They can work together. I'll come to this point later on, but just putting over here is ExCom works as a team and primarily certain responsibilities are put. But if you look, there is a lot of interrelation between the various. Like for example, Sergeant at Arms orders the snacks, but needs to be supported by the treasurer. The VPM primarily connects with the guests. Now today we have 2 guests. I'll be catching hold of during the break. But there are times when we have maybe 7 guests, 8 guests, and then other people also chip in. Maybe the buddies of the VPM or maybe the VPPR. But thanks for bringing that point, Mishra. VPPR. Yeah.
VPPR and VPM, if you talk in the normal corporate world, VPPR is like the marketing guy and VP is like the sales guy. So VPPR is responsible for marketing the club, meeting to the people around, to the members and also to guests, all in general outside so that more people come to the club. And that is one of the aspects. Another is taking notes of the I think that's now and putting it on the social media so that more people come about the club. So yeah, mostly the marketing aspect.
Thanks, Sandeep. Feel free to chip in. This is the time today we don't have table topics. So feel free to say right, wrong does not matter. Feel free to chip in and say. So yeah,
Makes the person makes the presence of the club friend in the meeting.
Thanks.
So if we look at the club leadership handbook, the VPPR is responsible for managing the public relations and the social image of the club. And one aspect of that is how Dharmesh said, like ensuring that something what we are doing, it gets published in the media as well, if possible. But the role has changed over time. Today, when we say about media, it's just not the newspaper, it's like Facebook, Instagram, LinkedIn, Twitter. We have so many assets that we as individuals can also go and post on. The very bad minimum role for BPPR would be to ensure that the flyer is created and important moments in the meeting is captured, like the best speaker, best evaluator, certain things. Moving ahead, couple of other things would be adding the new member to the group. So yes, in every time I add the new member, whenever all of you at one moment join the group. So the BPPR creates that flyer. And everybody feels special that I know when I was there, I felt special because the flyer was created. The third thing is in terms of celebration, birthday flyers. So that is something in our club it happens. In certain club it does not happen. So based on the bandwidth of the BPPR, the team of BPPR, many such things can be taken. Now, educational level completions, if you look at certain places, for that also flyer is created by the BPPR. So based on how much time, bandwidth the BPPR and the team has, it can be taken from the bare minimum to as much as required. So there are places where even the wow moments in the meeting, like somebody gave an amazing table topic or prepared, snippets of that could be cut and put on the social media. Just looking at their other potential future members, they would be inspired to come and check it. So this is the bare minimum, engaging and ensuring how the whole image of the club is. But it's completely up to the BPPR to what extent and what degree they want to take it. Now moving on to the next one, Vice President membership. A part of it was already covered by Mahesh Raj in terms of connecting with the potential guests and speakers. Apart from that, anybody would like to?
Making the transition of the new members into the club, like first meeting, second meeting.
Yes. Thanks, Meenakshi, for bringing that. I have not a particular. So, ensuring that the new member is oriented, and again in terms of connecting with the people. Now, sometimes the people take admission immediately. Sometimes we have to follow with the people. Okay, would you like to again join? And is there something else you would like to know about the Toastmasters platform? So, in a way, it's about, I would say, making the potential people aware what the platform is about. And I would say, some sense, aligning both the systems. Because we don't want a potential member who is not in sync with what Toastmasters are offering. So it's not a MLM scheme where we are just trying to get members just for the sake of it. Somewhere we want that transparency in terms of what we are offering. It's not a coaching institute. Sometimes certain people have that impression of will be taught how to speak English over here. And certain other expectations people come with them. So as a BPO, we need to ensure that we are on the same page and we don't make false promises. What is being happening in the club, we have to just clearly tell them in terms of collecting the dues and again communicating with the treasurer that the payment needs to be made with the PI. So that is why the interrelationship between BPM and treasurer comes. Again, the connection between BPM and the BPPR is in terms of after the payment, ensuring that the photo is taken and information is passed on to the BPPR for creating the flow. Now we'll move on to the next, that is BPE, Vice President Education. I'm sure everybody has not to say for this one. So, come on.
Yeah, come on. So, BP education, I think that is the most important role in the Toastmasters country. There are various activities which are like the BP education. One is that identifying the role players for each and every meeting. Second thing would be that monitor each and every member's progress in terms of pathways. Third is achieving the DCP goals for the club in terms of education. So then next thing is having education sessions, planning education sessions or various type of sessions like celebration or something. Then having this contest, organizing the contest, identifying the CC and all the important things. So I think these things are covered.
And the VP is very happy. He was once upon a time in years. But anybody could not follow any of the terms or you need planning. Because I think he covered most of the important role for VP. One thing would be club mentorship. Yeah, that was also covered. So club mentorship program will also fall under the purview of BPE in terms of ensuring mentoring assigned to each of the new members.
Base camp tutorial.
Thanks for bringing that. Base camp tutorial. Now you must have seen there are beautiful certificates which is posted by BP in the WhatsApp group. So that happens when each of the level is completed, the VP goes and approves on the base camp. Now 3 people in the XCOM has access to the base camp for approving the levels. That is the president, the vice president of education, and the state. So in our club, most of it is done by the VP currently. But it can have a understanding. Like I said, in case of there is some challenges for one person, other people can chip in. So the system is built like that. Anybody else, like he's said a lot of DCP program, so anybody is curious, or else I'll move on to the next in terms of interest of time and we can connect it. So, like I said, BP is a very critical program and it somewhere decides the quality of the program. You must have seen we have lot of educational sessions which have been happening over the last 1 year. Even this current educational session, we are having to ensure that quality is being provided in terms of evaluation, the speeches, everything somewhere the owner comes from BP. So anybody, any query on this? So we'll move on to the next one, that is the president of the club. So what is the impression of the president? Has to get done from other people.
Like a boss.
Boss. Boss is always right. So come on guys, anybody on the
About the marketing and sales, I would say president is the CEO of the club, so all the executive decisions and falls under his purview, and he's the guy responsible.
Thanks, anybody else? So in my view, president is like the fail safe, the last person. If anybody is not the president, has to ensure that the things get done. In terms of the BPPR comes and says like I don't have time, my buddies don't have time. So president has to ensure to either get somebody else or maybe groom that person so that the person is in a position next time doing it, that thing happens. So finally it comes down to the president. President of Toastmasters club is somewhere, if we look at the club installations, it's like the CEO of the club, Chief Executive Officer of the club. In terms of the roles and responsibilities, the presiding officer by privilege first and foremost goes to the president and it goes hierarchy wise. If the president is not available for it, then it goes to the VP and so on down the line. So again, the presiding officer is kind of the face of the club who inspires the members to always take up the roles and always be engaged in terms of giving their speeches and also somewhere convincing the guests also to take membership and connect with the members, BPM. This is the basic snippet I would say of the president, but if you ask me, president has to be like an all-round because any of the other XCOM board person comes and asks, tomorrow BPM comes and says, I'm facing a struggle, what do I need to do? President may or may not know the answer, which is okay. We may not always know the answer, but the president has to be resourceful and adaptive enough to figure out, okay, what can we do? President do not have the choice, I don't know. Like you go figure out. So president cannot do that. President has to somehow do. There are support from the district as well. There are area directors. And with that, I'll move on to the other thing. How much? Yeah. Done. So I'll just take a couple of minutes to wind it up. So in terms of training program, we have the district has 2 training program which happens during the year. One during the July, one during the January. As a club also, we are very proactive in terms of providing support to the leadership every year. I've seen that sometimes I've received, sometimes provided. In terms of before the leadership training by the district happens, we handhold, and that is a transition from our club to the incoming team as well. These are the roles and responsibilities in specifics. One of the things is, I would suggest all of you guys go and read the club leadership handbook. It's an amazing handbook. One of the things which Nisha brought in, like once you take a role, you have a reason to come over here. Once you take a role, you have a reason to know more about Toastmasters. It's much more than just coming over here just for 2.5 hour meeting. There are too many things involved and you're going to have fun. It's like playing a game console, and right now we are just in one part of that area. And once we take up that opportunity leadership, we able to explore much more beyond that, other things which we have to offer. Who all knows about the Toastmaster promise?
I know it exists, but I don't know what it is.
So if you go on the club, so you are raising your hand, right? Yeah.
Like the promise in the pledge.
No, not the pledge. So if the pledge is taken by the president to orient the member, but if you go into the club leadership hand promise, that is an implicit promise all of us. We may or may not be aware of that, but it's a promise we made when the orientation was done and we took the membership. There are around, I think, 15 points. One of the points is whenever the club calls upon us, we'll take the leadership. So this is the time when the yes. So if you go into that is a point. Whenever the club calls on you, you have to take the leadership. So this is the time when the club is calling upon you. You saw the forms yesterday. I would encourage all of you guys, apply it for today. Then you can figure it out. Probably reach out to the current ex-com or your mentors to understand more about the rules. Whatever rule you are interested, just don't look for that one reason why you should not apply. Look for that one reason why you should apply. Right? So many times you must have seen it in your own life. There are many times your heart must have desired for something, but then you have mind started chatting. Okay, this is the reason we have not done that. Probably you should not go for that. If you want to know more about the different leadership roles, you can reach out to any of the current ex-com or any of the senior Toastmasters. But I would definitely say it's a great journey. If you take it, there might be bad moments, there might be happy moments, but at the end of it, I can promise you, you are going to enjoy that. And out of the whole journey, you will feel that you come across a more stronger and a better place. Over to the next.
Thank you, Sanish. You have given us a lot of reasons why to apply for this leadership role. I think we are going to have a lot of applications for it. Yes, Simon. So let's move on to the next part, which is the anchoring part of the Toastmaster Club. The batch speeches, celebration. For the prepared speech round, I would like today we are going to have Toastmaster Mahesh Raja, who is going to do the executive speech. To evaluate him, I would like to invite Toastmaster Devi. Toastmaster Devi, again the child in you. What is your favorite cartoon character?
For me, it was comic books and Tintin and his adventures. He was a journalist, used to get to go to these exotic places. So whenever I used to read it, I wish, that I could become, when I am older, I could be, probably go on these adventures and have all the wonderful experiences that he had, see the places that he would go. That was.
I wish you would have adventures every day.
My target speaker is attempting his level 1, project 1, which is icebreaker from the path dynamic leadership. The purpose of this project is for the member to introduce himself to the club and to learn the basic structure of the speech. Timer, please note the time limit for the speech is 4 to 6 minutes. Thank you very much.
Since Mahesh Raja is going to deliver an icebreaker speech, at the end of the speech, I will request all members to stand up and give him a standing ovation. Mahesh Raja. Again, question to you. What is the childhood food habit you still carry today, and whenever you go, you prefer to order?
Okay. My favorite childhood dish, I think we were also discussing about that, is mirchi bhaja, which is a stuffed mirchi bhaja. So it has has a combination of many flavors. It's spicy, it's sour, it's salty as well. So I still have that, the childhood flavor in. So wherever I go out, especially in to my native town, so I always make sure that I order the mirchi.
Thank you. Next, Raj.
We couldn't hear the title.
Sorry?
We couldn't hear the title.
The two rim of life.
Good evening, Toastmasters. I am Mahesh Raj, and within my humble family circle reside my mother, wife, and my inquisitive 10-year-old daughter, who never fails to ask if I'm running late returning home. Today, I stand before you with a tale woven from two different threads. One about my health struggles, and the other about career plans. So let me first delve into the realm of health struggles. Picture a life where every breath feels like a struggle, where illness casts a shadow across every moment. This was my reality not too long ago. While an image of Virat Kohli would evoke a notion of fitness and vitality, my reflection painted a starkly different picture, one marred by weakness and poor health. It felt as though I was trapped in a ceaseless cycle of ailments, convinced that this was my predetermined fate. Now let me shift the focus to my career journey. Unlike the health struggles, my career trajectory bore brighter hues. Despite being an average student, I somehow managed to navigate through a postgraduate program in business management from XIMD. In my career, I was chosen amongst a pool of over 2,000 applicants for a fast-track program in Six Sigma. So, which also culminated in my black belt certification in Lean and Six Sigma. So let me clarify here that this is not a black belt in karate. This is a black belt in Six Sigma. So please don't expect any demonstration of karate. My career path meandered across SE IT organizations like Tata Consultancy Services and Cognizant, where I ascended the corporate ladder. Additionally, I ventured into entrepreneurship, establishing my startup while still being entrenched in the corporate role. However, my tale took a somber turn when the realms of health and career intersected. Escalating health issues compelled me to bid adieu to the corporate role. The year 2022 marked a pivotal moment when I was diagnosed with sleepless, hypertension, and insomnia, all of which I grappled with while relying heavily on medications for respite. Yet, amidst this turmoil, a beacon of hope emerged. I stumbled upon the transformative power of holistic wellness. This was an amalgamation of yogic practices, fasting, dietary modifications, and embracing sunlight. Miraculously, the debilitating pain which once consumed me dissipated, replaced by a newfound vigor and vitality. Liberated from the shackles of medications, I embarked on a journey of wellness and self-care. So today I stand before you not as a victim of circumstances, but as a conqueror of destiny. I envision a future where not just I, but my family radiates health and vitality. Let me quickly talk about the things which I love doing. I find solace in the melodies of singing. In the quietness of meditation, I discover the serenity within. Recently, I have embarked on a journey of self-discovery through solo trekking. And yes, I confess I am also a proud member of the YouTube marathon. You ever watch YouTube thinking it will just be a quick break which ends up or turns up into a full-blown marathon? Yes, YouTube is like a black hole. In conclusion, I implore each of you to embark on your own odyssey of wellness. As we take a walk down the memory lane, I request each of you to reflect upon your own journey of transformation. True health resides as I say, true wealth resides in the invaluable asset of health. Thank you.
Fantastic speech, and moving on to the next one. I'll give you a 1 minute break for the feedback. There is a feedback slip with every one of you. In case if you don't have, please take it from Target. Anybody else need? Thank you. Hope you all present the feedback form. We have the next speaker, Toastmasters is going to deliver the speech to evaluate her. I would like to call upon Toastmasters. Toastmasters, the child in you, like your favorite place. Your child.
I have one red t-shirt, so I wore that almost alternate days. That was my favorite. Good evening, Toastmaster of the Day, fellow Toastmasters and dear guests. Today I will be evaluating speech given by Toastmaster Ruchi, and she is delivering level 2 project 1 from Pathway Dynamic Leadership. Timer, please note, time is 5 to 7 minutes. And purpose of this project is to understand your leadership style. All the very best, Toastmaster Ruchi, and over to you, Toastmaster.
We'd like to welcome Toastmaster Ruchi to deliver the speech. I know we all have some favorite song.
I'm not saying.
He danced. So that's your childhood favorite song.
My childhood favorite song is Hey, Kya Bolti Tu? You have to respond now.
Thank you. Toastmaster leadership style and then Toastmaster under leadership.
Imagine being stuck with a boss who just orders you around all day, treating you like a robot and not caring for your thoughts or feelings. All you can do is nod and say, yes, boss, yes, boss, yes, boss. Who would like to work under such a Hitler like boss? Now let's turn the table. Imagine a different scenario. You are in a workplace where you're respected, where your ideas matter, and your boss actually cares about how you feel. They ask your input on important matters, and they make sure that everyone gets along like a one big happy family. Which boss would you prefer? The Hitler type or the one who leads with compassion and understanding? Thanks for picking me. Because I'm more like a caring leader. My leadership style is a mix of two styles. Democratic, where decisions are made together, and affiliative, where everyone is happy to work together. I did not even know about these styles until I became the contest chair of our table topics contest. Good evening, dear Toastmasters and distinguished guests. Remember our club's IC and table topics contest? Yes. Let's walk down the memory lane. What you saw during the contest was just the tip of the iceberg. The real action happened way before the big day. Late night calls. endless WhatsApp messages. Sacrificing weekends. All for the contest. But you know what kept us going? Our awesome team of role players who gave it their all. Like Toastmaster Mahima, who had an exam the day after the contest and still volunteered to be a timer. And Toastmaster Nisha, who had office even on weekends, but still found time to help out with the contest. You know why they went the extra mile? Because they felt they're part of something special. They felt valued, like they belonged. Every key decisions were taken by mutual agreement. Even selecting snacks for the contest was a group decision. But there were minor conflicts as well. Trying to get everyone together for meetings was not a piece of cake. Nevertheless, we made it work with lots of patience and a little humor. Like, if you skip the meeting, you owe Toastmaster Vidya a treat, a party. Overall, it was an amazing journey that polished my democratic and affiliative leadership skills. But you know what? I realized that sometimes I need to act as a Hitler as well. Let me tell you a funny story. So we had about 19 table topic contestants and we did their updated forms. I used to say gentle reminders every but hardly bother. Until one day, Toastmaster Libby dropped the hammer with a strong WhatsApp message. Suddenly, everyone was right away and filling in their forms. Lesson learned. Sometimes a little authority goes a long way. To conclude, we are all inborn leaders. It's the experience that helps us figure out our style. So go ahead, be yourself, and let your natural leadership style shine. But hey, don't forget to be flexible too. Sometimes we need to switch to other leadership styles depending on the situation. The most crucial factor is what drives your leadership. Are you leading with a heart to serve others? Or are you expecting others to serve you? Is your leadership about giving? Or is it about taking? Every visionary leader, regardless of their approach, shared one noble goal: to leave the world better than they found it. So let's follow their example and become the extraordinary leaders we were destined to be. Thank you.
I'd like to take 1 minute of feedback for the speaker, whatever form. I hope you have fed up the form. The important part of the meeting, break. We have got samosas and these are ready. Please join us. Exactly, it's going to be 10 minutes. I expect you to all to be back in 9 minutes so that you can start the meeting and ready. Thank you.
ताला लगा के रखा है प्रेस करने है वो पानी में कुछ मिक्स है तेरे को अच्छा नहीं लगेगा क्या है
जो भी है already looking for a Toastmasters club. A dedicated Toastmaster. So very much.
I'm gonna be living, so I haven't found a place yet. I'm gonna be living in 2016.
चलो आज मैं टाइम पे ब्रेक इधर क्या मिला सकते हो मीटिंग के बाद मैं बाद सुना और कंप्लीट
अभी मैं अपनी स्पीच में
I tell you, कुछ जरूरत ही नहीं तनिष
So we need to be like sometimes meetings officials are first 30%, 5 to 7. fees. This is harder in the rules might be because college payments is based on the sometimes some classes. Fees is one time registration fee and the fees for 6 months is 6,000. For 6 months. Same is yeah, 6 months later. Yes. So what happens is there are certain tools and different tools to expect this. So this is one of the so they have got some awards for the most 10 people to handle. So like that thing sometimes happens. So we are at a which goes for lots of things. We are very also very important. So annually, right now, that time we have to take for 6 months, but maybe sometimes so I also take no, so 2000 is fine, like 6,600 for this. So let's have the 1 year to be choose then after 2 years then again part of XCOM, depends on the XCOM of that. The main choose to buy maps. We had some business last 2 days. We used to share it with the values for the I think most likely have more than 15%. So you can do it. Probably one of the as well. We have around 40 minutes. That's one has. No. Master.
Kalyanji, it was superb, very nice. Pretty entry.
Thank you. starting में वो select करना है ना, वो एक मीटिंग select करके उसको monitor करना है, मीटिंग select करके ना and post के specs रखा.
So not to be average. Activity one. और लेवल को सिलेक्ट कर देंगे तो बराबर लेना है केवल वही चीज हां है नहीं है so we can and then no just we wanted you to I mean take a snack okay thank you right yeah yeah So, 30th of March, we can do a copy over here.
My turn, I have to go. Giving no? After we got to have a meeting next week.
Sorry.
We have a meeting next week.
Yes.
So you can have
Evaluation.
Next week, our meeting.
What? If the
Compensate करने के लिए. The child in you continues. The next speech, I'd like to invite the evaluator, Toastmaster Kalita, to evaluate the speech of Toastmaster Meenakshi. Toastmaster Kalita, the child in you. Give you now the law.
Okay, with that question, I happen to walk down the memory lane. So I loved playing cricket. Feeling nostalgic about that because cricket, back down 35 years, girls weren't playing cricket. And I was really pulled down by my mother. लड़कियां cricket नहीं खेलती, घर पे बैठो, क्या भैया के साथ cricket खेल. So I so wish that there would have been a cricket, women's cricket would have been encouraged at 35 years back. I would have been a top-notch player then. With that, good evening everyone. My target speaker, Meenakshi, is attempting Level 3 Project 1 of Pathway Persuasive Influence. Her speech title is Turn the Other Cheek. The purpose of the project is for the members to develop or enhance his or her understanding for the steps and strategies to address the conflict. The purpose of the speech is for the members to share some aspect of her experience learning about resolving a conflict. Timer, please make a note. The time allotted for the speech is 5 to 7 minutes. All the best. Thank you.
President of the club is going to deliver the speech today in the conference. I welcome Toastmaster Meenakshi. I a little bit change the question what I have given to her earlier. Impromptu is going to deliver us since we are not really. What is the childhood trip which you want? So which your parents. Not that we want to live for certain things.
I was always an attention seeker. I still am. Yeah, I would throw tantrums here and there, just like that, so that I get the attention from my parents.
Yeah, that.
Thank you. Toastmaster Meenakshi, then the other chief. Then the other chief.
Good evening, everyone. How many of you have never been in a conflict? Never. Not ever. Never. Good. I was hoping that nobody raises their hands here. So all of you agree with me that conflict is the basis of any human interaction. Wherever there are human beings interacting with each other, there is bound to be a conflict. Let me walk you down the memory lane. Think about the time, your first day in kindergarten, when some other kid took your pencil and you punched him in the face. The time, maybe just day before yesterday, that you fought with your coworker. From that time to now, we have been in multiple conflict situations. Let me tell you about Mahabharata, which is one of the oldest epics, and even Ramayana for that matter. All of these epics talk about conflicts, somewhere or the other, if you think about it, and also how to manage those conflicts. So it is very important for us to manage this conflict. And since we have said that we are all on the same page on, we have been in a conflict, let's look at how to manage it better. Good evening, Toastmaster of the day and my fellow fighter cops. Today, I'm here to present a few scenarios before you. And with those scenarios, I will be talking about the basic elements of a conflict management. To present those scenarios, I would request you to please give a round of applause for Toastmaster Dharmesh and Toastmaster Amrita. They have been very kind enough to help enact certain scenarios. Yes, please, sir. Here's the situation. Dharmesh and Amrita have been happily married for 5 years. Yes, happily married for 5 years, but now they feel that they have a rocky phase in their relationship. Now we look at the scenario. Scenario number 1.
No, I'm done with it.
Really?
No, I'm not.
Oh, so it means that you're done. I mean, there's no scope for conflict resolution. This is the scenario number 1, which says that to involve in a conflict management, both the parties need to be on the same page that they need to manage the conflict. Here they say that they are done with each other. That itself means that there is nothing to proceed further. That is the first step. Both the parties need to be on the same page that they have to resolve this particular conflict. Scenario number 2. Dharmesh, Amrita, why are you fighting?
It's none of your business.
This nosy woman. Why are you fighting for? Anyway, let's go.
Okay. So the second scenario, that in the second scenario, there is no need for a mediator. It is very ideal that the parties who are involved in the conflict deal with it with each other, and in worst case scenarios, you look for a third party to mediate the conflict. Scenario number 3.
Hello? How long are you going to be angry with me? This silence is making me mad.
No, I don't want to talk right now. Okay, this is a scenario where she's gotten emotional. As part of their marriage vows, they had resolved that they will never go to bed on a fight. With that being said, they haven't slept since last Saturday. So the third point that I want to make is that you look for whenever any particular party is emotional, you look for your own emotional intelligence and only resolve that first before you enter into a conflict resolution. For example, we saw in this scenario that Amrita was in tears. She wanted to. She was in tears. Be in tears. She was in tears. So she has to manage her own emotional intelligence before dealing with the conflict with Dharmesh. Otherwise, it will be a very indirect conversation in itself because the conversation will go into a completely different angle. How can you empathize with the other person if you yourself are not at that emotional level? So when you feel that you are very angry in a particular conflict, maybe go for a walk, have cold water, and then come back to discuss the topic. Because what is said in that moment of anger is something that you might regret later. Let's come to scenario number 4.
How long you have been angry with me? Stop giving me this silent treatment.
I'm sorry. I got very emotional with you. But now I want to talk with you. Okay, if you want to listen honestly, I don't like spending time with you.
So of course we need to spend time.
I see where this is going. Alright, now in this scenario, Dharmesh got a little emotional when he said that I just can't talk to you when you were discussing like this. So the same point that emotional intelligence, you need to deal with your own emotions first before entering into the conflict. Next point, scenario number 5.
So I see that you are a bit concerned, but I can assure you there is nothing between us. We are just friends. Okay, how about this? I will finish the term as a buddy for the VP education, and then I will not deal with you with education. But
that's 2 whole months.
yeah, how about this? I will talk to her for only work-related stuff, and we will hang out only for 2 hours a week.
2 hours after the meeting.
Okay, only just 1 hour.
In this scenario, you saw that both of us did some negotiation and then came at a common ground, at a common consensus. So to summarize all the scenarios, listen, open communication, be in the right frame of mind in terms of emotional intelligence, and then negotiation and persuasion, and then eventually you will come to a common consensus. Thank you. Over to you.
Yes.
Made us laugh a lot. Thank you so much for this. And we are moving on to the next speech. We will be covered by Toastmaster and Kit. Toastmaster Don is going to set the speech at the field. You start, Vicky, the child in you. Just recollect your memory. Maybe what written at your school. That's true. Only school. Every day. Every day. That's a considered person every day.
Still, by
That's true. Yeah.
Thank you. It is very nostalgic time for me, like a walk down memory lane, because I'm evaluating Ankit, and Ankit and I go back very long in this club. He's evaluated my speeches, I have evaluated his speeches over many years.
So it's just like a flashback from the past. So very happy to do this for you. For the record, there is no conflict with him. We are very good friends with each other. So Ankit is just completed a dynamic leadership level 5, path dynamic leadership, and is completed level 5. The purpose of this speech, of this project, is for the member to reflect on his or her growth during the completion of an entire path. The purpose of the speech itself is for the member to share some aspect of his or her growth during the completion of the path. So Ankit has just completed this path called dynamic leadership, and he's going to share his experiences and what he has learned during this path. And timer please know is 10 to 12 minutes. I see. 10 to 12 minutes. Thank you. This is going to be the reflection of the path at the end of Toastmaster Ankit's speech. Now we will give the standing ovation. Toastmaster. Please.
So my childhood place is my grandparents' place, my maternal grandparents' place, because we cousins used to play around and also used to the warmth and love of my grandma, and the oral stories that I used to listen from my grandpa. All these are very nostalgic for me, and that was one of the best time.
That's great. It's great for many of us. Thank you. Toastmaster Ankit, Vice with Destiny, Vice with Destiny, Toastmaster.
We don't learn by doing. We learn by reflecting on what we have done. Toastmasters and guests, today, as I reflect on the path that I've completed, dynamic leadership, I feel nostalgic. The reason being, I started this path in 2019, and it's been close to 5 years since the start of the path. As I go down the memory lane, I am reminded of a lot of memories, incidents that I have had through the completion of this path. Today, I would like to share that with all of you. Dynamic leadership, how many of you are doing a dynamic leadership path? Wonderful. So I chose dynamic leadership as the path because I was always inclined towards leadership. And I thought the path will give me aspects of how to become a better leader. So that's the reason I took the path in 2019. For those who don't know, I have been a distinguished Toastmaster before starting the path. I completed my distinguished Toastmaster in the previous curriculum of Toastmasters, which was competent communication. And then when the pathways curriculum came in 2018-2019, is when I started with the pathway of dynamic leadership. So talking about dynamic leadership, it starts with the first level. And I will also be making some reflections or some comparisons between my previous DTM journey and the path to make you understand where I'm coming from. So the first level is level 1, in which you have to give your icebreaker. And this was a new beginning for me in this path. I had given my icebreaker when I was going for my previous path in 2014. And I still remember vividly that icebreaker. The reason being, I was blank on stage for 2 years. And that is where I understood the beauty of Toastmasters. The people around me were supportive. I could see that encouragement that yes, we can continue to go ahead. And even after being on stage for 2 minutes, I was still able to complete the speech. And that is the reason I stayed in Toastmasters and being close to 10 years. But when I gave this speech, icebreaker, I was flawless. So that made me reflect and understand that I have come a long way from that first icebreaker speech to this icebreaker speech. The good part about pathways that I've understood, as compared to the previous path is that we have something called evaluation and feedback. In the previous path, the evaluation used to come at a later stage in your Toastmasters communication journey. But over here, you're getting an opportunity to evaluate right at the beginning, maybe after 2 or 3 stages. It's a very good thing because evaluation teaches you to think analytically, and that pathway gives you an opportunity. So that was a very good aspect that I loved about this path. And the last project that I did in this path, in this level, research and presentation, was on a topic called outliers. It is from a book called Outliers by Malcolm Gladwell, in which I talked about the ice hockey team and how they were able to win a particular series by being outliers. So that is the research that I done. So I had a very good journey in the first level, and I'll also give the timeline in terms of how I completed the levels. The first level was completed in 2019 itself. Now you might also be wondering, why did I take so much time to complete all the levels in the pathway? And this is where my title of my speech comes, that is Twist with Learning. Now I have always had a very good relationship with learning. It's because whenever I take up something new, I always want to learn the best out of it. And with pathways or in Toastmasters in general, I always look at reading or going through the path, but also demonstrating it through some way that I can. That's the reason whenever I used to have any speech, I used to first work on demonstrating the speech and then going ahead and talking about it. So that's the reason it took me some more time to complete the path, because I actually wanted to implement the learnings in my leadership journey. This I completed in 2019 very fast, and then comes the next level, level 2, and this is where I understood the beauty of this one. Self-discovery happened for me. Because in this level, you get to understand certain aspects of leadership. Your leadership style, your communication style. 2019 to 2020 was also the year when I was looking at getting into a leadership position in Toastmasters. And a division director role is when I was looking at getting into, and that is where I thought that understanding my leadership style is very important. The leadership style that pathways or this path gives you it talks about in terms of becoming a successful leader. You have to be an effective communicator, you have to lead by example, you have to be optimistic, you have to be open-minded, or you have to demonstrate integrity. Now I understood that I was an effective communicator, I was open-minded, and I demonstrated integrity. But I had to work on leading by example and be optimistic. And that is what I was able to work being as a division director, and that is when I gave the speech. Because I was able to implement the learnings of that level or that project into my leadership journey. Then comes also the communication part. The communication part is also very important when you have to become a leader. And in the communication aspect, it talks about 4 different types of communication. You have direct, initiating, supportive, and analytical. And another good aspect about the pathway is that it also gives you an assessment in terms of how to select what is your current communication style. So I was able to understand that my communication style is supportive and analytical. But I wanted to develop more on the initiating side, in terms of initiating different events, initiating methodologies in terms of which people can participate more. And I was able to do that in my division training. So that is where I implemented the learnings of the path into my leadership journey. And that is also the reason the self-discovery comes into picture. Because at the end, Introduction to Toastmasters mentoring is an opportunity where I got to mentor a very dear friend of mine, Toastmaster Santosh Akela, who is an ex-member of this club. And at that time, he was preparing for his speech contest. He was a very budding Toastmaster in terms of preparing for a contest. And I had, in some way, helped him out in terms of preparing for his contest. And that is still very, the memory is very etched in my mind, because I remember the meeting was happening in this room. And I had come 30 minutes back, and we were focusing on his speech in the other room over there, and then he came and he won the contest. And Toastmaster Santosh, if you are not aware, has also been the district level international speech contest winner. So I feel very proud in terms of where Toastmaster Santosh is, but I understood the aspect of mentoring through this path, and I was able to implement that in that experience. So the self-discovery came in this path, in this level. The next is commitment. Now this is where 2020. We were still flirting with COVID. We were just about, I think in the month of Feb is when I gave my first speech of negotiating the best outcome. At that time, the different methods of negotiations that are given by Toastmasters is accommodative, compromise, competitive, or collaborative. And using that, I actually implemented it in one of my friend's scenarios. My friend had come from a different city. He wanted to come and settle in Mumbai, so he was looking for a place to rent. And I helped him out in terms of negotiating the rent with the other person, implementing the learnings that I got from Toastmasters. That really helped me in terms of understanding that project, but also helped me in terms of implementing that in my day-to-day life. Next, we have elective projects that we have to do. I did a storytelling project on an aspect of Mumbai bomb blast, and at the end, active listening is when I did a Toastmaster tabletop master role in terms of understanding and delivering evaluations. Level 4 is the level which comes in the year 2020 to 2022, and that is a year which was very difficult for us in Toastmasters because we had come into COVID. And we were transitioning from an offline mode to an online mode. How many of you all remember the COVID times, or have you been part of Zoom meetings during the COVID times? Not in Toastmasters, but in general, right? You have. So in Toastmasters is always known to be a public speaking forum wherein people come on stage and deliver. And then changing the mindset of the people to make them understand that you can also deliver in front of the screen was a difficult transition. But you were able to do that. And that is a speech that I talked about in managing change. How are we able to manage change and get more members to be part of Toastmasters? The last one was building a social media presence. At that time, in 2022, 2023, I was going for another district level role, which was called a club group director role. And at that time, it's an elective role. And for that, more people have to know about it. And that is when I created a Facebook page of mine. And I started from the scratch and then created the whole page. At this point, the page has around 1.5K followers. So it talked about my Toastmasters journey and what are the different awards, accolades that I've got, and what are the learnings that I've got in Toastmasters. So I was able to successfully complete that page. It's still running, and that is what I talked about in my level 4. The level 5 is delivering impact, and this level I completed in the last year, in 2013. Lead in any situation. In this project, I talked about my club road director journey that I had in 2022-23, and that year was a very difficult year for me on a personal front. And that's what I talked about in this speech, where how I was able to overcome that personal setback, and we were able to as a team still able to get the district to success. So we talked about that, and the last one, in lead in a volunteer organization, I talked about a club of mine, which after I joined for some amount of time for speakers committee, it was a baby club for me. We started with that I was the presiding officer, as in the charter president of the club, and how we were able to make the club distinguish and president distinguish the next year is what I talked about earlier. So overall, all my projects that I did in this level have been mostly towards Toastmasters because I've got to learn a lot about leadership in Toastmasters. But this is just not me. It's not only me who was able to do it alone. There were a few people who have inspired me and who have mentored me in terms of my journey in Toastmasters. So let me tell you about my enablers. We have one of the enablers here, distinguished Toastmaster Ron. I remember in Eloquence in 2017, at that time I was an area director, and Ron and I used to come back at night from Bandra to Vashi in a cab, and used to just talk about not just Toastmasters but in general about life, about how to go ahead in career and all. And I also still remember the tea breaks we used to have with Toastmaster Ron when he had an office in Vashi. And we used to talk, and not just Toastmasters but in general. So I have got to learn a lot about Toastmasters and in general about profession from Toastmaster Ron. Vinay Srivastava is a very down-to-earth Toastmaster, is not there here today. But from him also I got to learn a lot, and he's helped me not only in Toastmasters but also in my personal life whenever I need any help. That kind of a bond is there between me and him. Santosh Shakila, as I talked about, he's been a friend, a mentor, and also kind of a buddy throughout my Toastmasters journey. Toastmaster Anish Babu, he and I have done our leadership journeys together. I was a vision director. That was a learning opportunity for me because I was leading a team at that time, and how to lead a successful team was something that I was learning, and he was making me learn how to be a better leader. So we had some conflicts, but we still were able to manage it and go ahead and lead, become a successful division. Toastmaster Arvind Chandramohan is not part of the club anymore, but I had learned a great in terms of public speaking from him. At the end, I would like to talk about two of my clubs, Admiral Toastmasters Club. I've been part of the club since 2018 and I've got to learn a lot from Admiral Toastmasters, made friends. Some of them are not here today, but I can see a lot of good friends that are there in Admiral that who are part of my journey. And Speakers Community, as I talked about, a club which I started and is still there. It's an online club, so if you have an opportunity, please do go ahead with it. With this, at the end, I would like to say that I hope to complete my next level, next path as soon as possible. Because hope is a good thing, maybe the best of things, and no good thing never is. Thank you. Thanks for the feedback.
Hope you have completed. Next, moving on to the primary report. He is going to give us the report for and report for all the people.
Here to give the time report of the prepared speakers. Toastmaster Mahesh Raj in time 4 minutes and 44 seconds. Toastmaster Ruchi spoke for 6 minutes and 41 seconds. Toastmaster Meenakshi spoke for 7 minutes and 22 seconds. Toastmaster Ankit spoke for 13 minutes and 14 seconds. So all speakers are qualified except Toastmaster Ankit. Thank you.
Moving on to the childhood youth. These are all habits we had when we were a child during our school days. One of the most familiar habits which we all have gone through is keeping a peacock feather in the book. I'm thinking that it will be more and more. The day it becomes more, then you think you get more marks. So that's a habit, and then many people have different kind of habit, keeping certain objects when they are for exams. That's always there. And certain kind of dress they will continue to wear. That's a childhood habit. You continue to do it in the professional life also while you are doing it. So this kind of habits never dies, but it's always the memory to cherish and keep it. Going ahead to the next step, I would like to invite our general evaluator for the day to evaluate this meeting and invite Toastmaster Sangeeta.
Have a seat. I didn't answer your question. I know. I realized when I saw him in the meeting.
Who is your close friend during your primary school days? Are you still in touch?
No, I'm not in touch. And my close friend used to be Abhilasha. So we used to come in the bus together and do all kinds of monkey things you do in that age.
That's excellent. Thank you. Thank you, Satya.
Thank you. Toastmasters, guests, namaskar. Sangeeta Shruti, I'm your general evaluator for today. I'm not going to give you a grandiose reason why evaluation is important. Because the minute any Toastmaster gets off stage, the first thing you do is you have an audience pointer whom you look to and ask. Because all of us want evaluation, all of us want to know how we are doing. Unless we see a mirror, we don't do it. I ended up giving you that much, no? Okay, let us move on with the evaluation section. The evaluation section of the speech is divided into 3 parts.
First part will be evaluation of specific speeches, which will be done by designated evaluators who had come to read the objectives of the speech. Second part will be the tag team report. So the timer, and the grammarian will tell us their observations throughout the meetings. The third part will be the general evaluators report, where I get to gather what I have seen also the meeting. So the first part we will start right now with going on to evaluations. The first speech today was, now one thing I like to do as a general evaluator is to have a two-part evaluation. So the speech will have a proper evaluation and an audience evaluation to see if we remember the speech. First speech was today. It was about. Correct. I salvaged. I will call her his evaluator, Toastmaster Libby, to come and speak. Toastmaster Mahendra. Just like you embarked on your journey of holistic living, you have today embarked on another journey, your journey as a community. So congratulations for that. And what a start it has been. I am sure your mentor sitting here has been patting her back about the performance that you just delivered, not taking away anything from your effort. You were excellent. The thing that struck me most about your speech was your language. I would say you are a wordsmith. Now, I actually tried, noting down all the phrases that you were using, but I admit defeat, I couldn't actually note down everything. The grammarian had the task in front of him. Now, you took us down your own memory lane when you described your issues in the realm of health. When you, especially when you described the vitality of Virat Kohli, I actually imagined him sitting somewhere around here, or like I wish he was sitting here. Yes. Even when you described about your career or your college or you described it so well, it kind of painted a picture for us. Now, this was your first speech, and the confidence which you portrayed, the confidence with which you stood on the stage, your body language, your eye contact with the audience was absolutely great. And I actually had a bout of nostalgia in terms of my icebreaker speech, and I definitely wasn't this confident. Couple of other things was your humor, excellent. I even liked your confusion. In an icebreaker speech, you managed to find a takeaway for all of us. So that was excellent. Now, I do have one recommendation that I would like to give you as you go ahead in your path. I thought that transitions between the various aspects of your life that you explained, whether it was your health, you started off talking about your family, then you jumped to your health, and then you jumped to your career. So I thought it was pretty abrupt. There should be a smooth flow through your whole speech so that people can follow you through your journey. I thought that was something that, all in all, keep up your excellent language skills, hold on to your confidence, build on your body language and eye contact, and just remember to incorporate smooth transitions in your speech, and you're well on your way to become an excellent speaker. Thank you, Toastmaster Libby. Encourage evaluation as always. Second speech was Toastmaster Ruchi. She spoke about leadership. To evaluate her, let me call on her evaluator, Toastmaster Kanu.
Good evening, everyone, and good evening, Toastmaster Ruchi. Many congratulations for you delivering your speech successfully. You started your speech with scenarios like a role play, and you asked the question, which boss would you like, Hitler or understanding like me? So that was a catchy opening of your speech, grabbed the audience attention. That was really good. After that, relatable stories like a contest story. Everyone was a part of contest. Some are role players, some are contestants, and you were bang on that part because that story was so relatable and with in a context with leadership also. So that was good example you used. I really like the confidence in stage. because you were very confident throughout your body language. You maintain eye contact throughout your speech, hand gestures were good, appropriate with your content, and the humor was on point throughout your speech. Because of that, audience engagement was so high in your speech. But still, there is some point I would recommend you to improve your speech on next level. First is opening was too long. So it should be like 30 seconds or 40-second opening to catch the attention of the audience. You can use like poll or question or whatever you want to like, whatever you want to use, you can use that. Second is you talk more about content. So somewhere I felt disconnected with the leadership styles. So you have to be short and crisp related to that. Plus you can fill up 2 examples from Toastmaster and from other than Toastmaster to deliver about the leadership style. And last one is ending. After you ask everyone about their leadership style, you can still go on almost for 1.5 minutes. So your ending also be impactful, like in a way with a question or some photo, whatever you want to use, you can use that. Overall, very, very good speech in terms of audience engagement, in terms of humor and body language. Just work on this little communication and then we're going to go. All the very best.
Third speech was Toastmaster Meenakshi. She spoke about and God living. Okay, to evaluate her, we have Toastmaster Parita.
About Navi?
Just as an amazing speaker. She came, she illustrated, and she conquered. Kudos to my target speaker, Meenakshi, who grabbed our attention from the start till the end. How many of you have never got into the conflict? The question that she started, we really started pondering about. Because of course, we all have been under that situation. That was a point. She hooked us and she engaged us. I was on the pen till for the topic, turn the other cheek. What does this topic mean? Unless and until she brought her 2 demonstrators on the stage, the people who really entertained and we were really taken aback with their performance. So kudos to you guys also. Meenakshi, you tried your best to unlock the steps and strategies to resolve the conflict by each and every situation that you gave us and showed to us and portrayed in front of us. And you also gave a wonderful solution to them. So I'm sure we all are going to implement those solutions in our personal life. With that, as I said, from the start till the end, I was only looking at her that she will have some flaws. She will do some mistakes. But no, it was very difficult for me to get into that recommendation zone for my target speaker, Toastmaster Meenakshi. I love the way she gave the solution with a lot of simplicity that we all could resonate. And the way she got the speakers, the most entertaining situation, the rocking marriage. I mean, I think that's the best way, and we all could relate to, because marriages are something the conflict is most possible there. But as I said, though it was difficult, but I had to dig into that recommendation zone for her, as every speaker has a room towards improvement. So I just basically have 2 areas where my speaker needs to improve. First and foremost, rather than calling two people to dramatize, I would have expected her to be a second person over here so that I could see her more, I could hear her more, I could see her vocal variety, I could see her acting skills, and I could see the the way she uses stage, rather than she standing, as she was just standing here and putting up the thoughts. Acting would have been a better way to deal with. And lastly, thing that I would have got is the ending. I found that she went towards the ending really with celerity. Rather, she could have done it precisely, clearly, putting up, listen properly to solve your conflict. Open communication is the key to solve the conflict. Emotional intelligence would be the better way to solve your conflict. It would have given us a clear picture. In a nutshell, wonderful speaker on the stage. She put up everything very clearly, but with more acting of her being portrayed over here and more of her being on the stage for everything would have been altogether a top-notch speech. Thank you so much.
What happens when one DTM talks? Other DTM evaluates. That speech was DTM Ankit. What did he speak about? My God, he's already standing. Pathway completed his journey experience. To evaluate him, I call on the already upstanding distinguished Toastmaster Ron Williams.
Good evening, everybody. So how many of you here have completed a path? So friends, one, two, few people. You completed a path? Okay. Congratulations to those who have completed and those who are about to also. Completing a path is a very important milestone in the Toastmaster journey. It takes a lot of effort, not only about giving so many speeches, it's all about learning and all the experiences you have along that path to completion. So for some kids it was 5 years, some people do it in 2 years, 3 years, 4 years. It could even take you 7, 8 years to complete a path for some people. So it's a big journey and kudos to you, Ankit, for completing it. We were double lucky today. We not only heard from somebody who had completed a path, but we also heard from somebody who was a TTM who had completed a path. So we had a kind of senior Toastmaster talking about path. So our expectations are very high for that kind of knowledge and interesting speech. So let me tell you, off the bat, we started with a very nice quote, and you hooked everybody's attention almost immediately, right? And we started talking about how you started your path, when you started in Toastmasters, and how you got into the path, etc. You have a strong voice, good body language, excellent eye contact, which I could expect from a senior Toastmaster. So in terms of delivery, it was really very clear and crystal clear and well delivered speech, well structured as well. So you're pretty much on the ball throughout the speech. A very well designed PPT, which took us step by step. A lot of information when you completed, what were the speeches within each level of the path. So we could visualize you going through each path and learning new things as you went about it. So also for those who are new or newer Toastmaster, a glimpse into what a path can give you at the end of the journey or throughout the journey. So kudos on that, full mastery on that. Very well designed, very well through, date, time, everything took us through. And also you told us with this speech, this is what I learned, this is what I got out of it. So we could also kind of relate to that. Okay, if I did this speech, I would have learned that. So overall, a fantastic speech. I really enjoyed the entire journey. Just a couple of things now in terms of feedback, which I noticed about speech. One of the biggest things I noticed about the speech was you captured our minds, but you did not capture our hearts. We saw the Ankit who went through the path like a good Toastmaster, but we didn't see the storytelling Ankit which you actually wanted to listen to. At least I wanted to listen to. About your experience and where you failed, what could we have learned not to do, how could we have done better, or where was it that it was most intense. So there were no stories as such in the speech, which is what I missed, and I know you're a great storyteller. So that is something that emotional connect with the audience through your journey was one big part which was missing. So you hit the head, but you did not hit the heart. An important thing. Secondly, you went overboard with the timing and you rushed the ending also. So I think you took a lot more time than you expected. So just pace your speeches a little better, especially if you've got 10-12 minutes, you have to be right on the ball. overall, lovely listening to you again, lovely catching up with you again. Please do keep coming to the club and would love to hear from you all. Yes? Thank you, sir.
Most detailed evaluation by DJ Brown. Moving on, we have our tag team report. 3 people who've been listening to everybody with the first side. We will start off with our timer report, requesting her to give us the timings for all evaluators. Our timer today is Toastmaster Vidya.
We are sharing the timing report for the evaluators. Toastmaster Navi spoke for 2 minutes and 33 seconds. Toastmaster Amruta gave her evaluation for 2 minutes and 28 seconds. Toastmaster Parita's timing is 3 minutes and 54 seconds. And Toastmaster Ron spoke for 3 minutes and 20 seconds. So Toastmaster Libby, Amruta, and Toastmaster Ron are qualified. Toastmaster Parita is not qualified. I would like to say it's very difficult to be a timer. It's not that easy. I have to remind myself that I am a timer and I need to focus on that. All the speakers were amazing. And when Toastmaster Kalyan Kumar went nostalgic, I thought of using this phrase, walk down the memory line, but I forgot. So I hope this.
Lesson learned. Even a timer role can create a laugh track. She showed us her. Going on to the person who's been listening to all the and I'm not listening to something. I'm not getting into it. Let us call on our counter for today, Toastmaster Monodip. Is this your first time in our counter? Another round of applause first.
All the speakers who are present today, I hope you all will agree. There are very marginal errors, and I will share the report as I have taken it from. Toastmaster Nisha Agarwal has used only one pillar word, "a." Toastmaster Navi has used crutch word 1, so, pillar words 1, and one pause word short, one short pause word. Toastmaster Kalyan Kumar has used but to twice, so once, you know one, and one. Toastmaster Sangeeta has not at all done any mistake. Toastmaster Sunis Babu has used art 2 times and so 4 times. Toastmaster Vidya Group has also not done any mistakes. Toastmaster Padma Pani has used only one R. Toastmaster Mahesh Gowda has used one short pause and 4 times I. Toastmaster Ruchi Kumari has used one but and 3 times so. Toastmaster Amruta has used 2 times so, 2 times you know, and 2 times are. Toastmaster Meenakshi has also not done any mistake. Toastmaster Parita has also not done any mistake. And Toastmaster Ankit has used R twice, once. Toastmaster Ron has used so twice and one R. That's all.
Moving on to our grammarian of the day, Toastmaster Padma. Is this the first time you're taking the grammarian role?
First time. Quite difficult.
Most of speaker have used phrase of the day and word of the day. I just name it. Word of the day used by Toastmaster Parita, Toastmaster Ron, Toastmaster Ankit, Toastmaster Bibi, Toastmaster Vidya. Then phrase of the day used by Toastmaster Mahesh Raj, Toastmaster Ruchi, Toastmaster Parita, Toastmaster Meenakshi, Toastmaster Ron, Toastmaster Ankit, Lady, I prefer to- Now there are not many mistakes, some mistakes in articles, some mistakes in tenses, some mistakes like somebody use in stage instead of on stage. Somebody use audience engagement was is not there, which was an audience engagement was. Then about use of interesting code or word. Many of the speakers use a lot of interesting words and phrases. I start with color, like with the presence, memory to cherish. Finish use transferable skill set. My choice will be many words and phrases. Like you made my job very difficult. I could not note down all the phrases, but few of I could note down. So, real of fail struggle, navigate through, meander, sober term, pivotal moment, turmoil, shackles of meditation, conqueror of destiny, serenity, vitality of Virat. Okay, I could not note down all the phrases, but these many I could note down. Ruchi, democratic, affiliative, piece of cake. Meenakshi, hydrocox, infused, right frame of mind, Ankit, outlier, hope is a good thing. Parita, grab attention, on the way, result. That's it. Thank you.
Moving on to the third section of evaluation, which is the general evaluators report. I will try and keep it crisp, but I'll tell you why. We started the meeting on time. We started at 5 o'clock, but down the lane we have lost our way and we are running behind time. So not just starting of the meeting, it will be nice throughout if all of us keeps that in mind. If we see the agenda, everybody has an allotted slot. Somebody has 2 minutes, somebody 5, somebody like Ankit has 12, but everybody has time allotted to them. And I'm going to request all of us to keep to it. Where we can't, if we can adjust for each other, we'll also be nice. Now, moving on to the role of the staff, he has set the tone to the meeting, read out our objectives. I'm going to take a risk and say something here with a disclaimer that I'm not trying to belittle anyone or name out anyone. I am trying to learn from a senior Toastmaster and I'm trying to share the learning. Whole of last term, our star was DTM Vinay Srivastava. Vinayji would, every time he came on stage, and we had the same president, we had Toastmaster around, but every time he came on stage, he had a different introduction for Toastmaster. So that small part where the star can introduce the PO can be something that we can incorporate. Again, another disclaimer, I am not giving a specific person a feedback. This is feedback for all of us. So when we take the role, all of us can do this. So when we are calling the next speaker, whoever that person is, the star is calling on, we can give a little introduction. Same thing, now I'll move on to the PO address. She always does this, right? She has effortless audience engagement. She gets us all doing something. We wouldn't have even thought of it. Again, today she delivered, gave a nice audience engagement. Same thing I would say, if you are calling somebody else on stage, maybe 2 lines of introduction and there is nobody to introduce the Toastmaster of the day, whereas he introduces it. So maybe the presiding officer can say a few lines or tell us something we don't know about the Toastmaster. This introduction. Going on to the Toastmaster of the day, child in you. He appeared extremely leisurely on stage and I was worried he was going to cross time. He didn't. Every time he came on stage, he occupied only the amount of time allotted to him. He was leisurely but very mindful of time. Engaged the audience. He gave us a good format explanation of the speech at every place. Very nuanced role playing, things like standing up and applauding for end of journey, applauding for a icebreaker speech. Very nuanced role playing. Now again, something I specifically want to commend him for. When he started off, he was saying, I am calling on people to evaluate. He course corrected and said, I am calling evaluators to give speech objective. Correcting something after you have finished your job is one skill. Course correction midway is a higher skill, and I commend Toastmasters the day. Now, again, a few general tips for all of us. This is not for the Toastmasters today. Whenever we take up the role, the way to introduce someone in Toastmasters is name, title, title name. Toastmaster Mahesh Raj, realms of my life, Toastmaster Mahesh Raj. That is how we do it. Secondly, once you've given the second handshake after the name, title name, you get off the stage because it is transfer of the stage to the other person. They own it, you do. Third important thing, never leave from in front of someone. Leave from behind someone. So once you've handed over the stage, either you go in the opposite direction, like I go off in different directions, depending on who comes up, or you go off from behind that person, never in front. Handshake on stage, stay, give a handshake, then get off stage. A lesson Toastmaster Arun taught me in my second Toastmaster meeting. Moving on to our education session, required informative, interactive, comprehensive session. That is all that can be said about it. But if the Toastmaster allows, I would request everybody to give him an applause for such a comprehensive. Two general feedbacks for all of us again. If you are using any language other than English, kindly follow it up with a translation. Because that is a general Toastmaster principle we follow. And let all of us be a little mindful of time, starting with general evaluator for the day, Toastmaster Sangeeta Shruti, ending her report, handing the stage over to our Toastmaster of the day to conclude the meeting.
Good evening once again. Final session of the day from my side. If you want to children on the hands which you can hold, take you to heaven. Henry Brooks talking about it. It's not different children you have to go and search for. It is the child within you. The age, you forget that child again and again and again. You think of agony, you think of dream, you think of expectation, fear of tomorrow. All these things are in you. Get back within yourself, invoke the child, try and live for the present. That makes you happy, that makes you healthy, that makes you cherish every moment of your life. I believe you will all practice this going forward and enjoy your every day and every moment of your life. Thank you all for patience here.
So did we all enjoy the meeting today?
Yes.
I think today was a laugh, right? I don't know, today we are actually running a little late of time, but I didn't really realize that we are running so late. So to help matters move on, what we will do is, I have already shared the link in the group. If you could go ahead and start voting. For the guests, we have the QR code and if Sanish could put it in the section.
The guests will be
Here. In the meantime, I think I have can see two guests who were not there when we started the meeting.
Is it still on the person?
Yeah, I know he's busy. If you could just tell us your name and what you thought about our meeting. I didn't.
My name is Sami James. I'm doing for the first time from an interview. something of this scale will be conducted over here. And I stay nearby, or I stay in Nairobi. Again, I've heard about Toastmasters, but again, like I said, I never knew that this could be in my destiny. 24 years of age, married 2021, just entered the car club, 3-month-old child at my place, and yes, people.
And you met our VP membership to.
Yes, I did. And you know, still remember, show them that.
Okay. What about you, sir? If you could just tell us your name and what you thought of it.
So it's like I was done watching videos on YouTube of how to communicate and watch the kind of videos. So I thought I have to hit the hammer by the acting sword. So just grab this opportunity, and while I was starting from my home, I live at Panvel Valley. So while I was starting from my home, sun, it just killed me. Like I was like, "Jana hi nahi tha." But I was like, "Okay, let's give it a shot," and I don't regret it. The session was amazing. I see a lot of people here who are providing value to one's development. So I appreciate it. Thank you.
Great. We will have a conversation with our VP membership. And so your feedback for this.
So, when you speak, I find it very interesting, the expressions speakers give, kind of confidence they have on the stage, the kind of the act. I was very impressed, and I look forward for the sessions. Hopefully, I'll be able to attend all of them. That's all.
And you should have a membership.
Yeah, I'm already.
So where are we? Few announcements. Next Sunday, that's 28th April, is our division conference, which is our division conference for BDSM and U. These the all 5 divisions having their conference. They are mostly called ISC feature. I would request, I have circulated the registration link in the group. What I will do is I will recirculate it again in the group. So please do go register. It is happening in Ulve, the Geo Institute. It would be a good idea for all of us to go and participate. And of course, Meenakshi is a contestant. So we should try to go and encourage her. There are something which we've been doing for the last 2 years, something which is called announcing the Toastmaster of the Month for April, and we missed doing that for the months of February and March. I will announce those now. Toastmaster of the Month for February is Toastmaster Vidya. Now she. This is an opportunity for you to ask a party. Don't let her go.
I asked her about congratulations. Surprise, that was her.
She's been a pillar of our club and she's ever ready to do anything that we ask her. She's been the contest chair. Thank you so much. We're running out of time.
Thank you. Oh, celebrity feeling.
For the month of March, we have Toastmaster Rohida. Now, this is the second time he's getting the. Again, he has been instrumental in taking up a lot of roles outside the club, inside the club. Anything you ask of him, he's always available. Fill up the nomination.
Party.
The results are here. Let me start with the best auxiliary role play.
Timer.
Only Meenakshi feels that.
Thank you, Meenakshi.
So come to Padma Pani. Best role player, any guesses?
Child.
Please. Best evaluator?
Ron.
Wrong.
Go hard.
Exemplary evaluation. And best speaker for today?
Oh.
First time speaker and the best speaker. We expect this more of this. Thanks. While the SAR team searches for the icebreaker ribbon, the next meeting is on 27th of this month, which is on the fourth Saturday, which is not a regular Saturday, but it is a speech marathon. We're going to have 8 speeches. Again, it is going to be a meeting that you guys don't want to miss. Do come, and this is an invitation to the guests as well. Do come and attend the meeting next week as well. Okay. No one says that I would like to. Now we had a half an hour session on what club leadership is, what we can expect to do, what the responsibilities are, what we want to gain after doing it. After that, how many of you will nominate yourselves? Sunny should be too.
गलत साइड दिल पे हाथ अरे प्लीज
Okay.
No, he's busy this year, no? Manager.
So I definitely say Sanish's session was a success. And I would like to call Manisha on stage, please. Camera and Thank you. Toastmaster Meenakshi has some more announcements to be connected with.
I'll just keep this short because we are running out of time. Yes, like she said, we have our upcoming election, and today everyone is charged because of the session. So I would request everyone to please fill up the form today itself. We have rolled out a form in our group. The last day to fill it up is 6th of May, and we are having our election on 11th of May, which is not a regular meeting. We will do it online in a Zoom setting because it's just easier for the votes and the counting of votes and ballots and all. So on that day, we will have only the elections. So it will be a very short meeting. It will be the second Saturday of the month, not a regular meeting. And we have nominated our past, I mean not immediate past president, but she's been a past president, DTM Sangeeta Mishra. She's a senior member of our club. She will be the election officer who will be conducting the entire election process very fairly and. Yes, okay, yeah, declare them.
I.
Meenakshi
Meeting
Kumar.
number 342 close. Please, someone say the.
Oh, yes. That will be good.